Welcome to another edition of Author Ejamie Watches, a somewhat weekly show where we react to television shows and or movies and hopefully entertain y'all. Now, for this week, we are starting Outlander Season 6, Episode 1. For those of you who are new here, I have started Outlander reactions from Season 5. I am going to start the Outlander 6 reactions both here on YouTube and on Patreon. So if you would like to follow and sponsor me on Patreon at patreon.com/author Watches. The link will be in the description. We will get the premiere episode for season 6 here on YouTube and on Patreon. Either close together or I don't think it'll be at the same time, but pretty close together. I think might do the YouTube one first. That might be easier, and then the Patreon might be like a week after, or like a few days. Eventually, we want to do it where the Patreon is ahead, but we're not quite there yet. So yeah, the link to the Patreon will be in the description. You will get this preview clip here on my regular channel, and you will get the YouTube heavily edited version on my YouTube reaction channel, which thank you so much to everybody who subscribed over there so far. We're getting a few more subscribers, and that's great. Once we get up to 100, then we will be able to get the URL for it, and I can put that in the description. But until then, I will put the link to the direct video in the description when it's up. And this will be the fully edited, the YouTube edited version, and the fully unedited when that goes up on Patreon. So, let's see if I'm getting to mention anything. Yeah, so here on YouTube, I started doing reactions for Outlander in Season 5. Because from seasons 1 to 4, I didn't know reactions were a thing. I didn't know reactions were a thing until I started doing Game of Thrones reactions. So it's until I started watching Game of Thrones reactions. By the time I realized that reactions were a thing, Game of Thrones was over. So I had already seen the show. So unfortunately, we didn't get to do Game of Thrones reactions, which that would have been fun. But what we are doing is we are doing here on YouTube and Patreon, we are doing reactions to now Outlander. Season 5 is up on YouTube. Season 6 will be up on YouTube and Patreon. We are doing reactions to Supernatural from season 11 is up on YouTube. Season 12 and onward will be up on both YouTube and Patreon. We will hopefully get back to Lucifer eventually. We will hopefully get back to, Lucifer, because I was doing the first season of Lucifer, and then I sort of got sidetracked with different shows. So we have up to Lucifer season 10, Lucifer episode 10, season 1. And we are starting Lost. We're starting Lost from season 4. That will be up on YouTube and on Patreon as well. Because from seasons 1 to 3, again, I didn't know reactions were a thing. Until Game of Thrones reactions. And I took a break from Lost in protest of them killing my beloved Charlie at the end of season 3. So, but hearing things, I, got the urge to pick it up again and start from season 4. So season 4 will be starting on YouTube and Patreon. So that's sort of where we are right now. But so excited to get back to my beloved Outlander. And just a note, I am a book reader. I have read all the books with the exception of Bees, which I haven't picked up yet, but I'm hoping to pick up soon. So I have read from Outlander straight through Moby. So I know I will know some things that are going to be happening, but at the same time, I don't know how the show will tackle them, because sometimes they have a tendency to tackle them differently than the books did. So There will be times when I'll be like, I'll try not to spoil, but I'm a firm believer in personal responsibility. So, if you have not read the books, sort of like on social media, there's this thing where like, oh, spoilers, spoilers. Personal responsibility. If you have not watched the show, if you have not read a book, you have two options. One, stay off the internet. Two, try and not, or try and like just sort of like scroll by any sort of mention of Outlander. Muting is a thing you can do. And like sort of just accept that there is a chance that you might see or hear things that might, let you know things before you wanted to know them. For example, I, as a published author, the internet is sort of my way of kind of marketing my books and such, and I enjoy social media for the most part. So staying off the internet is not an option for me. So I can accept that I either have to like really scroll and try and like not reduce my chances of coming across something, or I can accept that some things might leak through that I might see that I do not know about. For example, there's some mention of ether and Claire in this episode. She takes ether. Like I knew that. I came across it, and I have no one to blame but myself. Other people are not my mommy and daddy who need to hold my hand and make sure that I don't see any of the things. That's not their job. That's my job. That's my job as someone who hasn't seen the episode yet, who hasn't read the books yet. Okay? Okay. So, there's your little intro thing. I'm very much looking forward to this first episode. So let's get into it. Outlander, Season 6, Episode 1. Here we go. Well, okay. I'm glad that they're giving her the time to be dealing what happened that they gave to Jamie. Because Season 2, remember, I might be frozen. Okay. Season 2, beginning of Paris, it took him a while to I might still be frozen. It took him a while to be dealing with what happened with Blackjack Randall. And I'm glad that they gave him that time. And I'm glad that they're giving Claire this time. And I don't know, like the ether thing doesn't bother me. Only in the sense of she's still experimenting with it, so if she screws up the dosage, she's putting herself at risk. And considering that she's the only doctor there, that is reckless. That she's testing it on herself is reckless. From like that standpoint. I'm not mad at the fact that she's using it. Because I think the fact that because she has it available to herself, it makes sense that she would. To me. Because, listen, if Jamie had ether after Blackjack Randall, y'all, he would have been taking that shit every damn day to get over what happened to him. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying it would have happened. So yeah, I'm not mad about like the fact that Claire's taken the ether. I don't find it out of character for her. Like, really at all. Because she's had a traumatic thing happen to her. And people deal with it in different ways. So, yeah, I'm not seeing... I guess I don't understand what all the hubbub is about. But I tend to have that reaction anyway when people are all up in arms about things. I usually really like it, or I don't see what all the hullabaloo was about. Because I think it makes sense to me that she would. It makes sense to me that she would take it. Now, of course, as it goes on, she's going to be relying on it too much, and I don't think that's out of character for her either. Like, I don't know. It didn't bother me. It really didn't. I understand it. Just how on the other end, I don't like what is going on with Fergus and Marcelly, but I understand where Fergus's brain is at. And I think we're going to delve into that more, and then people are either going to understand where his brain is at, or they're not going to care and just care the fact that he's drinking himself into a stupor every day. That's up to you. For me, knowing like his, like, as a book reader, knowing sort of like what things are happening with him and sort of like where his mind is at, I don't agree with some of the choices that he makes, but I understand how his brain is working at this time. Also, loving the haircut. Fergus was always a pretty boy. Let's not lie. He was always a handsome, pretty boy. Season 6 Fergus is hot AF. I like Jamie's hair. I miss the curls. Not gonna lie. I don't care if you didn't like the wigs or whatever. I don't care. I liked them. All the wigs. Except for maybe the hiding in a cave for like 7 years wig. That, but again, I understood. He was hiding in a cave for 7 years. But yeah, I liked the other wigs. They did not bother me. I miss his curls. But I like the way his hair looks sort of like in the show, rather than how they had it looking like promo shots. I did not like the posters and stuff of his hair in like the promo shots. I like it sort of in filming in the episode as we're seeing it. Can the Browns just go away? Can they just go away and die? I don't remember what happens to the Brown brother. I don't remember what happens to him, but I hope he dies, and soon. So now we have the Christies. Christies have arrived after treating Jamie like shit in Ardsmere prison. He has now arrived to kiss Jamie's ass. But he still thinks that he can sort of like run the show, or like be like how he wants to be, and not give sort of Jamie his due. And not sort of respect Jamie as the Laird of Frasers Ridge. He's all like, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm gonna listen and only like listen to God and blah blah blah. Like, Christy and his like. My sister and I were talking about this, and I was telling her about this documentary on Netflix called The Family, and it was all about sort of like evangelicals and stuff. And There was a line in there that I think some of evangelicals so well, and it's something along the lines of evangelicals believe in believing in God. And that was the line. It was they believe in believing in God. They believe in the appearance of appearing to believe in God, of appearing godly, of appearing religious, rather than actually, listening to what God and Jesus have had to say about things, or sort of like interpreting that the word of God to be sort of like an interpretation, and the lessons learned therein of like being a good person and being like, loving thy neighbor and like that kind of stuff. No, they're all about the punishment and restrictions and judging people and all that shit that some humans wrote in a book that they call the Word of God. I said what I said. Evangelicals believe in believing in God, not actually listening and doing what God and or Jesus, the lessons therein to be found of the Bible, but pretending to appear to seem godly. That's Tom Christie, and those are evangelicals sort of like him. Alan and Malva. I don't want to say too much because I know if the show follows the books, I know what's coming. And I love the actor who plays Alan. He's really good. He's yummy as well. The actress who plays Malva is just, I love sort of the look of her. And just the actress looks like Laura Donnelly, who played Jenny. So that was great first episode. I'm so looking forward to the rest of the season. The Brown brother, or Jamie, agreeing now to be the Indian sort of like liaison. I understand why he finally decided to, yes, okay, I'll do it, fine, because Brown's an asshole. And Brown is likely just going to set out to kill some Indians. And that's all that he's going to care about. So I understand Jamie being like, no, let me do it, because at least if I'm doing it, it'll be like better, because I'm not out here to kill some Indians. However, I'm not sure how this is going to go over with young Ian. I don't think he's going to be happy. I've seen like a trailer here and there, and I don't think he seems happy. He doesn't seem happy about it. So yeah, great first episode. So looking forward to the rest of the season. So the edited version will be up on my YouTube channel. With the preview link here on my regular channel, you can get the link to where you can watch the YouTube edited version, and the link to where you will be able to watch the full unedited version on Patreon. So follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. Follow me on Patreon at patreon.com/authorejamie watches. And I will talk to you guys next time. We're getting the Jamie and Claire sex early. I approve. Bye.